What's up guys, Nick here, and in this video I'm going to explain to you guys my trading strategy and the indicators that I use to further knowledge my trading and how to make some serious profit when trading cryptocurrencies. Okay, so for example, Bitcoin is up 7.2% on the day, Litecoin's up 4.3%, Ethereum's up 3.4%. These are incredible percentage moves, okay? In traditional markets, you can see 7% in 1 year in a mutual fund. In cryptocurrency, this can easily happen within 1 day. I believe the most I've seen Bitcoin up in 1 day is, I've seen 20% moves like nothing, within just a few hours. So there is some crazy volatility here in cryptocurrency. And in order to capitalize on that, you need to be using the proper indicators to help make you as much profit as possible. Okay, so the website that I use to look at all these charts, the platform that you're seeing right now, where I have all the coins here listed on the right side, is tradingview.com. Tradingview.com is definitely the most recommended platform if you are looking to, look at in-depth charts in cryptocurrency, or if you're simply just trying to, check the price every single day. It's definitely a great platform for doing either one of those. So when it comes to my trading strategy, I usually trade really big moves in cryptocurrency. I don't trade the small moves. I used to day trade. I used to sit in the corner of my room with an iPad and literally trade for hours on end a day. But it got to the point where I was over trading. It was getting a little bit too stressful, and I was basically eliminating profit that I could have made from just simply holding the coin. I was definitely over trading. So here's the Bitcoin chart. Each candlestick represents 1 day. So on the top corner, you can filter to each time frame that you want to see. So if I was to pick the 4 hour, each candlestick represents 4 hours on this chart. We're going to go back to the daily, for example. So when I got into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was all the way back here. It was only about $700 to $800, and it is now $6,174. So that's about 600% ever since I got into cryptocurrency. And you could still, play these huge moves and get the same opportunity that I did in these cryptocurrency markets, because whenever there's bad news about Bitcoin, the price fluctuates, on 20 to 30% moves usually. That's what it tends to do. So for example, up here, Bitcoin was about $5,000. It hit an all-time high. That was the top of 5,000. Some clear resistance was there that we couldn't break, and we pulled back all the way down to 3,000. Okay, so that's almost a 50% pullback. Okay, so as you can, that's about 35 to 40%. And from 3,000, it went all the way back up to 4,100 within about 4 days. So in 4 days, you made about another $1,000 per Bitcoin if you bought that bottom. So how would you know to buy that bottom, right? That's the question you're probably asking. How would have I known that that was the bottom? Bitcoin wasn't going any lower, because when it dipped this low, it broke some pretty big support. So in order to, knowledge yourself on where's the bottom, these are the 3 indicators that I recommend. So once you get a TradingView account, all you have to do is right click and simply click Insert Indicator. From here, you can type in the indicators I'm about to tell you. So I use the CCI, the MACD, and the RSI. These are the 3 indicators that I recommend using. Basically, the RSI signals overbought and oversold conditions. So see how there's this purple range? Right now, the purple range is at 70, and the lower is 30. Okay, 70 to 30 signals consolidation, and whenever it gets above this purple range, for example, up here when it's at 81, it's above this purple range. That's overbought. And look where Bitcoin was. It was at 5,800, and it dropped all the way down to 5,100, which was a buying opportunity. And whenever it's up there, it's been hanging around here for quite a while. Usually you want to be a little bit more careful than when it's, just consolidating in this purple range, okay? And vice versa. If it's down here, which signals oversold, that means buy the dip, okay? Especially when it's on the 1 day chart. You can zoom into the 1 hour, and you could definitely see a little bit more in depth when it's overbought here. For example, 51, bounce all the way up to 6,100. You can definitely see some more in-depth analysis, but when it's on the 1 day chart and Bitcoin gets all the way down to here at a 25 RSI, that's definitely a clear signal to buy, because it's only dipped that low a few times throughout Bitcoin's history. So on the long term, when RSI is usually this low, that's a buy. When it's high like this, it's definitely a sell. You want to start taking some profits, but that doesn't mean just because it's this high doesn't mean it's going to automatically drop down. If it's this high and it's at an all-time high, that's a blue sky breakout. That means the price can keep running with no resistance, even if the RSI is in extreme overbought conditions. Okay, so it's definitely something to look out for. Say Bitcoin's not at an all-time high, it's just consolidating. If it's usually this high on the RSI range, that's definitely a sell. You want to start taking some profits. Okay, so that's the RSI, signals overbought and oversold conditions. Now there's the MACD. MACD is also bullish and bearish. Bulls means those are the buyers, sellers, bears are the sellers. Okay, so this is the MACD, the yellow and green line. Whenever there's a cross, that signals a further bear cycle or a further bull cycle. So back here, when the yellow went into the green, this was at about $4,000. Okay, so the yellow went into the green line. When it went into the green line, that signaled bullish. And look where the price ran up to. Right now, sitting at 6,300. This was all the way at 4,100. So that's $2,000 per Bitcoin pure profit. Okay, so whenever the yellow goes into the green, that's a buy. Whenever the yellow goes down into the green, that's a sell. So for example, it crossed up here around 6,000. They crossed, and now it went down all the way down to $5,400. Okay, so that's definitely a bearish cross. And right now they're getting pretty tight. And it looks like we can cross bearish or bullish once again. Okay, so whenever these lines cross, that's definitely a clear signal to buy or sell on the more long-term standpoint. Like I said, you can use these indicators on the 15-minute if you want to trade more short-term. But like I said, I definitely use my indicators on a more long-term standpoint. Okay, so that's the RSI and MACD. Now there's the CCI. Okay, so the CCI just gives you a representation of where the price is going. It's definitely the most it's not my favorite indicator. My favorite indicator is definitely the RSI, then the MACD. The CCI is definitely just an indicator there to give you further knowledge into your trade. So whenever it goes, super high or super low like that, it doesn't really mean much. Okay, it's not like the MACD and RSI. The CCI is relative to 0. So see how 0 is in the middle here, then there's 200 and negative 200. Whenever the CCI crosses past 0, that means the price is likely to head up, and whenever it crosses down into 0, that means the price's tendency is to go down. Okay, so for example, up here we hit 6,100. That correlated with the CCI on a downtrend. As soon as it crossed past 0, it further dropped. It had its volume climax all the way down to 5,300, and then as soon as it crossed bullish again, past 0 to go up. As you can see, that resulted in some nice movement to the upside. So you want to use these three indicators to knowledge you in a collective standpoint. You want to use them individually. You want to use them together to help knowledge your trade in a more long term. Okay, so me personally, my trading strategy, I trade more long term. Okay, like I said, there was a time in my life where I would trade very frequently, hours on hours a day. But now I play these huge moves that Bitcoin has. You could even play the 5,100 to 6,000. You could sell up here, buy back lower. I mean, it sounds like it's hard. But, obviously, we can't predict what the price is going to do. But with these indicators, you could definitely help knowledge yourself to make some killer profit that not many people are using. Most people that buy Bitcoin are just buy and hold. So right now, it's very easy to trade Bitcoin with these indicators. So that's what I recommend doing, opening up TradingView, adding these indicators, and it could definitely help knowledge you in the more long-term standpoint.